Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg. This is week 15 of my Read What You Own Platinum Challenge, where I have challenged myself to read 100 books that I already own before buying another book. This challenge will eventually morph into the more insidious 500 book challenge. Maybe. So what books have I been reading? The first book was a science fiction novel, Blindsight, by Peter Watts. This is a story of alien contact. It is a hard science fiction novel, so for the most part, Peter Watts wants to stick with what is scientifically possible. There is one major exception. And in this story, things fall upon the earth that are determined to be of alien origin, and alien intelligence probably created them. So humanity sends out an exploration ship to where they think the source of these aliens are. On this ship are some rather unusual characters. The narrator is a man with half a brain. He had a condition when he was younger, and it was determined that the major medical reason he was having a problem is that one of his sides of his brain was malfunctioning, so they took it out. So he has some, he's a synthesist. He can take in information and synthesize it without getting involved. Then there is another person who has 4 personalities in one head. And then there is the starship captain. He is a vampire. And humanity was able to resurrect these mythological vampires from the human past. And he is a vampire. And he has this unusual condition where right angles cause him physical discomfort. So that's why he reacts to a cross. And then they have to encounter the aliens. And these aliens are completely unhuman-like. I will leave it at that. The problem with this book is the writing style. It is rather confusing at times. It is just not clear what exactly is happening in the story. Part of that I blame on Peter Watts actually being a scientist. So while he has writing skills, his ability to communicate non-scientific events is a little hampered. Not hampered enough that I didn't dislike this book, because I did like it. It's just a complicated book to read. The next book I read was for my in-person book group. I actually got this from the library, so it does not count towards my challenge goals. It's just a book that I read, but I did not buy. And in this, we have a psychoanalyst downgrading his job to work at a mental institution because there is a special woman in this institution. This woman was a noted artist who murdered her husband. She shot him in the face. And you learn that right from the beginning. So that's not a spoiler. But this woman, after she shot him, went totally mute. She would not communicate with anyone. The only form of communication she has done since killing her husband was doing a painting called Alcestus of herself. And she has wounds in the arms because she tried to commit suicide after killing her husband. So this psychoanalyst wants to investigate what's going on with this woman. Is there more story that the people do not know? And yes, there is more story. My problem with this book is it's too fast-paced. It's too easy to read. I read this book in just a little over a day and a half, and it's 300 some odd pages. So I was reading at more than 60 pages an hour, which is a very good clip for me. Very easy, nothing too complicated. And then there's the story itself. There is a major plot twist at the end of this. And I guessed an important part of that plot twist. I did not guess everything, but there is something that happens that I know is going to surprise a lot of people. My wife is also reading this, and she's about halfway through. And she, from what I have talked to her about, has not guessed one of the major plot twists yet. But it's okay. It's a thriller. You'll enjoy it. After that, I finished listening to an audiobook for the Booktube Prize. I did check out this physical copy of the book just to match it up to what I was listening to. There are some pictures in here, some charts. I don't want to go into what I think about this book, but it is the memoir of a journalist in the Philippines who is standing up to tyranny and authoritarianism. After that, I finished this book. This is a collection of Ross MacDonald novels of his Lou Archer series. I read The Doomsters. And in this, a man comes to Lou Archer early in the morning. He has just escaped from a mental institution, and he wants Archer's help to settle some things in his life. And Lou gets involved. It's a little kind of flaky. You know, the man from the mental institution says, I may have money someday if I inherit my father's estate and I can pay you, but right now, as an escaped mental convict, you can't pay. So Lou agrees to take the job, but he says, I'm taking you back to the mental institution. And on the way back to the mental institution, the man chickens out and knocks Archer over the head and steals his car. So Archer still continues on to investigate the case. It turns out that this man is stolen a gun and may have murdered someone. It's a pretty good mystery. If you have not read any of the books in the Lou Archer series, don't start here. It's not a place to start the series. But I enjoyed it a bit. I found MacDonald's writing style a little more concise. And this is like the fourth book that I have read by him. It is probably the sixth book in the series. I'm not positive because the Library of American edition does not publish everything in the Lou Archer series. So I know it's the third book in here, and I read two other books before this. So it's fifth or sixth book in the series. Just don't start here. But definitely pick up the Lou Archer series if you have not picked them out before. The final book that I read was another audiobook that is Translating Myself and Others by Jhumpa, Lahiri. It is about her learning Italian as an adult and starting to write in Italian after she had published her first few books in English, and then learning to translate Italian books into English and her own English books into Italian. Stuff like that. I can't say much about the book other than that I have read it. And that is my reading for week 15. Thank you for watching and keep on reading.